Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Reiki Reflect. My name is Angie. This is our second episode, and today we're going to be talking about Reiki. What is Reiki? Well, it's a form of alternative medicine called energy healing. It is universal energy that can be used anytime, in any place, and on anyone. Reiki is free-flowing, which means the practitioner is the energy host. I myself am a certified Reiki master, so when I perform Reiki on a client, whether that be in person or a distant Reiki session, I first become the energy host and in tune myself with our universal energies, which allows me to transcend energies through you. What can Reiki help with? Reiki helps aid relaxation, assist in the body's natural healing process, and development through emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. It helps to induce deep relaxation, can help people cope with difficulties, relieve emotional stress, and improve overall well-being. How often should I get Reiki? Well, as often as you may like. Daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. I often have clients who receive Reiki either in person or distant 3 times a week. So really, Reiki can be in your life no matter the situation. I like to think of Reiki as one of those green energy cleansing shots we drink, because to me, Reiki is a healthy lifestyle change. It's not just a quick fix. Reiki and chakra balancing. Well, when energy flows through the whole body, it creates harmony and releases imbalanceness. Reiki assists in bringing the chakras into alignment and balances each chakra as a role in balancing some aspects of our life, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Although chakras and Reiki come from different spiritual and cultural traditions, they have many things in common. Reiki and chakras work well together, and Reiki is the best way to balance out your chakras, because Reiki is healing energies and chakras are our inner self spiritually. Our inner self spiritually is also energy that is connected to the universe in our spiritual path. So when we use Reiki to balance out our chakras, we are removing any blockages on our spiritual path. Reiki is also a good way to do guided meditations, which will allow you to find out where your chakras are at, if you have overactive or underactive chakras. It's actually really fun because when I do guided Reiki meditations, the client is able to see their chakras, or feel their chakras rather, and experience the emotions. The chakras are like they experience the emotions that their chakras are tied to. So while in each session, the client is able to speak out loud how they are feeling with each chakra when we're focusing on. And then it determines whether the chakras are over or underactive. So for me and for you, it's definitely an interesting experience, I can tell you. Well, chakras and a spiritual awakening. This is going to be an interesting topic. I'm going to first talk about the 10 signs that means you're in a spiritual awakening. When you get when you do a Reiki alignment or a Reiki healing session, it helps you to become spiritually awakened because it helps to intune you with our universal energy. And in order to become spiritually awakened, you have to be connected to the universe. It's like a given. So one of the first signs of being a spiritually awakened is actually probably why you're here listening to this podcast, because you have an increased interest in metaphysical and phenomenal subjects like crystals, tarot cards, Reiki, spiritual readings, things of that nature. So you definitely feel more interested in wanting to know the more spiritual side of the spectrum, which that's like a number one sign that your spiritual awakening is starting. It's because your inner soul is trying to help you to see that they're inside and they want to come out to be their true self. Number 2 will be unusual sensations of your crown chakra. So the crown is at the top of your head, and this is where you'll feel headaches, like a buzzing, or experiencing other sensations of that nature, of just feeling like you're just trying to shed your skin, if that makes sense. Because that's what it is. It is your soul wanting to break free to become their true self. And when we say your true self, it's the same thing as saying you becoming your higher self. The third chakra is like the least common chakra. The third symptom of being in a spiritual awakening is not something you see very often, but it can still happen. It's ringing in the ears. Some people who are experiencing a spiritual awakening experience a ringing in their ears, which often happens when we are in process of a sensation, like starting to experience the spiritual awakening. But it's not something I see very often. But you may notice that you're going to become very sensitive to higher energy frequencies. So you might find yourself not being able to listen to your headphones loud like you used to. You'll find yourself watching TV with the volume much lower than you used to. You'll find yourself talking with a more calmer, lower voice. So you definitely be like that area will be very heightened for you. So everything will just sound louder. Now, another thing, which is the fourth symptom of a spiritual awakening, is vertigo. So it's when a person is in transformation and you're starting to change. Our energy ascends, and sometimes we feel off balance. So deep breathing and meditation can help ground you if you are experiencing vertigo. Now, if you listen to the first podcast, this is what vertigo is, and it's actually what I talked about. It's that point where you just feel all that pressure and everything is just weighing down on you, and the pressure is so uncontrollable that it feels like it physically hurts. And that's where I was saying where sometimes I would just feel like I would just want to go and hide under my blanket and go to sleep. So that's what vertigo is. 5 was actually something I experienced often, and I still experience now. Growing up, and also in the earlier parts of my adulthood, I never experienced this in my life. So this is something that was new to me. You had an increase of chills or shivers, not due to illnesses. I would never, feel that. Like if somebody was reading something, and then, I could say, "Oh, I got chills from reading it," or "That gave me chills," or just being in a situation gives you chills. I never experienced that until I started my spiritual awakening. So that was something I do remember experiencing. So they're chills and shivers. They are signs that you are very connected to your source energy. So it's a good sign. The sixth symptom is increase empath and compassion. So in a spiritual awakening, we become aware of our connection with all people. As a result, those who are experiencing a spiritual awakening are more likely to interact with others through love. So you'll find yourself interacting with more people and expressing love and acceptance. So it's like you letting go of that ego and being less judgmental. The seventh symptom is regular instance when you see synchronicity. We all know what synchronicity is. You'll see meaningful coincidences becoming in like common places. Often we'll see like on our phone or our clock, or just seeing numbers where we see 111, 222, 444, things like that. So those are the synchronicities that you'll start to see, and that is like the sure sign that you're in your spiritual awakening. Everyone sees that when the spiritual awakening starts. So that's a really common one, is the synchronicity. Also, 8 is the next symptom is 8, and it's accepting that. And if you listen to my first podcast, this will make sense too. Because when I was going through my spiritual awakening, like I said on my first podcast, like I would wake up daily just thinking about death. Like I would wake up thinking that we die a little bit every single day. So that was a reoccurring thought through my spiritual awakening. So accepting death, you become aware of your internal nature, basically, and that starts to feel less scary and more acceptable. In a spiritual awakening, one may feel comfortable in understanding that is simply a transitional state rather than an absolute end. The ninth symptom is like receiving messages and understanding what they are. I remember when they started for me, and I would tell a friend of mine, like, the universe is playing games. I mean, the universe works in mysterious ways. Because sometimes I would think something to myself and was unsure about it, and then a situation would happen to where it would help me to like resonate with that certain situation I was thinking about. So you definitely will see yourself starting to like receiving messages and understanding what they are. So it's when you become connected to your spiritual nature, and we become aware of the messages sent to communicate with us or inspire us. So for example, at a critical moment, you might see exactly the words you need to see written on a street sign or a billboard or wherever, through a text message. You might also see a cloud information that is significant or meaningful to you, like a heart or an angel. A lot of times it would happen to me through people. Like I would be thinking to myself about a certain situation, and then the next thing you know, I'm experiencing a certain situation with a person in general, any person, friend, family member, loved one. It didn't matter. It was happening with all relationships I had. And then like after the situation happened, like I would think to myself, like, wow, like the universe really does work in mysterious ways. Now I know not to do something like that, or, so you definitely will see messages and you will understand them. That's the 9th symptom of a spiritual awakening. Experiencing oneness is the last symptom, the 10th symptom of a spiritual awakening. This is a rare symptom, and it must be felt to be understood. But this is a moment of total clarity, whereby like an individual feels connected to everything in the universe. So Reiki with deep meditation can help with knowing what this feeling is. So that's like the end goal. When you reach that 10th symptom and you experience oneness with yourself, that is where you feel that absolute bliss. Like this is where you're meant to be in life. So it makes like all the other terrible things that happen through a spiritual awakening, it makes it all worthwhile for experiencing that oneness. And it's true, what I just said, it's something that I can explain to you, something that you will have to feel for yourself. So all those are the symptoms of a spiritual awakening. Now, the great thing about a Reiki healing is that Reiki helps to promote a spiritual awakening. Because sometimes we don't know when it's going to happen. Sometimes we want it to happen, but we don't know how to open our third eye chakra, because it all starts with our third eye chakra. In order to start this spiritual awakening, so to speak. The third eye chakra is our inner self spiritually. It's our soul. It's how we communicate with the universe and everything around us. Our third eye chakra is the pineal gland inside of our brain. That is actually what the third eye chakra is, and it's actually a scientific fact because the pineal gland actually has photon receptors, which our eyes on the front of our face have photon receptors as well that are in our retinas, which is how we see. So for the pineal gland that is deep in the middle of our brain to have photon receptors means it can see as well. Now, this was something that was discovered, back in ancient Egypt, so like 3100 BC. And it's actually something scientists still try to figure out today. Because if you look up the pineal gland and a third eye chakra, like a symbol from back in Egyptian times, it looks, their third eye symbol looks exactly how the pineal gland in your brain looks. Exactly the same. Excuse me. So the scientists are still trying to figure out how did Egyptians know what it looked like without having the proper technology to run brain scans, But yeah, it looks exactly how it looks inside our brain, and that is how it became our third eye chakra. Which is really amazing, but that's another topic for another day. But our third eye chakra has to be clear and awoken in order to start your spiritual awakening. Now, this is where all of what we talked about previously kind of ties into a spiritual awakening, because Reiki healing helps to relax you, it helps to ground you, and since Reiki is positive energy that we use from the universe, and it helps us to balance out our chakras, and with the third eye being one of our chakras, and a Reiki healing can help to balance our chakras out. By balancing our chakras out, it helps to open up our third eye chakra, which allows us to start a spiritual awakening. So Reiki has become really crucial in our spiritual journey, so to speak. And I feel like that's why I'm so very fond of it. Now, the next subject is my favorite. Using Reiki to connect with your twin flame. That is something that is beautiful, just so to speak. Because, like I said, Reiki is energy. Reiki is the universe. Twin flames are energy, and twin flames are the universe. Twin flames, as you may or may not know, are one soul split into two bodies. This is one soul who has traveled through lifetime after lifetime, connecting with their twin flame in each life. But twin flames are put on this earth for a purpose. Also, twin flames are what I like to call a curse and also a blessing, because they're some of the most difficult relationships to master. But once you do become in union with your twin flame, it is the greatest love and experience you can ever feel. Probably next to feeling oneness with a spiritual awakening. So using Reiki can help you and your twin flame to wake up, so to speak. Because when you do energy healing through Reiki, It helps to send healing energies to your souls together to help them to wake up. Because as you know, we have many phases with twin flames. It is a serious, in-depth journey, which I'll probably make next week's podcast about twin flames, because that's going to be a really good topic. So we'll get more detailed on what twin flames are, what are their spiritual journey, and all that good stuff. But basically, I just want to touch a little bit on it just to let you know that Reiki does help to connect you with your twin flame. So if you met your twin flame already, then I know you're experiencing a lot of ups and downs, a lot of difficult times, and it feels like times are harder than they are easygoing with your twin. But it just feels, the connection is so intense that those little bit of times that are good makes it worthwhile. It makes all the hard parts of that relationship worth it whenever you do have that positive time with each other. So yeah, Reiki can help to bring you and your twin flame together. So it can help if you already met your twin flame. So it'll help to balance out energies. It'll help to awaken the twin souls so that they can connect and build a life together. It also can help if you have not met your twin flame, but you know you have one. Because everyone will know whether they have their twin flame with them in this lifetime or not, because it's a feeling of loss. Like you will always just feel lost. You will always feel like you're looking for something, but you don't know what it is. That is your soul looking for her twin or his twin. So that is definitely Reiki can help with either way. If you already met your twin flame and you want you and your twin to reach your higher self so you can become in union, or if you have not met your twin flame, but you definitely feel that you're looking for someone. So it can help that to happen. So I'm trying to see if I covered all topics. Look at my notes here real quick. Yes, I think I covered all topics. So I feel like this episode really covered a lot when it comes to Reiki. Reiki can be really good for your emotional health. It helps you just to feel more aligned with yourself. It can help you to feel more balanced with yourself. I'm going to talk a little bit about my Reiki experiences before we kind of end the show, because I only got a few more minutes left here. But for me, Reiki helped me to understand that I was going through a spiritual awakening. Because like I said in my previous podcast, it's hard for me to read myself, and any type of spiritualist or reader will understand that as well. It's hard for us to read for ourselves. So I didn't know what was going on with me was a spiritual awakening. So because you can do Reiki on yourself. So I was doing Reiki on myself, and it helped me to understand that what I was going through was a spiritual awakening. I was sending, these positive energies to me throughout my chakras, trying to balance myself, trying to figure out why I'm trying to, balance myself out. And it's like all my chakras are all over the place. Some are overactive, some are underactive, and I just feel so off. So I kept doing Reiki, and I was doing it every day. And after about a week of doing Reiki every day, I then realized it was a spiritual awakening. And how I realized, because I had one of the symptoms. I had one of the messages that came to me, and I understood that it was a message. So yes, Reiki helped me greatly, and it can help you too. If you have any questions about Reiki, or you would like to have a Reiki session done, you can send me an email. My email will be in the description. You can follow me on any of my social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, all Reiki Reflect. YouTube is Reiki Reflect as well. Distant Reiki healing is actually proven effective just as much as in-person Reiki. So don't let the distance give you any fear, because it works just as good if you're getting it done in person. So tonight's session I feel was good. If you have any questions, please send me an email. I'll be glad to answer any and all your questions. Next episode is definitely going to be about twin flames, because that's I feel has been a hot topic for the last couple of years, and it's also one of my favorite topics. I love talking to twin flames. Next episode is going to be all about twin flames. So thank you for listening to Reiki Reflect, and I'll see you next time. Bye.